Okay, there is Tony Bellinger, number 17. Bob Hope. No, not the one you're thinking of, another one. Coming up into the picture, Kevin Cooley. There's Bob Hope. And Bob Hope is from Scotland, not the one that we know that's from England. Okay, that's Jim Ryan, the forward. There are 3 forwards, 3 midfielders, 4 defenders, and a goaltender. John O'Hare, the captain. And Alan Hinton there in the blonde hair. Now here come the Los Angeles Aztecs. They're coached by Terry Fisher. Terry Fisher's one of the blonde hair, waving the arm in the air. They're all wearing a black armband today, and we will explain that to you. Here's Billy Michelot, reserve goaltender. Very popular here, and a very exciting acrobatic type of goaltender. Bernie Fagan, the defender, getting a big round of applause from the fans. He and his wife had a lovely little baby girl Friday. John McGrain will be coming up next. There's Bernie Fagan. The Aztecs wearing white, trimmed in tangerine today. Okay, that's McCrane. Then comes Peter Fredrickson, and Peter Fredrickson, unfortunately, had his brother killed in an automobile accident last week. There is Fredrickson. So, in honor of Peter's brother, the Aztecs all wearing a black armband today on the right arm. Next into your picture will be a man. That's Martin Cohen right there, the midfielder. This is Ken Whitehead, and he's not superstitious. Anybody that wears 13 can't be. Now the starting lineup for the Aztecs. Bob Rigby, 5th year in the league, from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Good-looking guy, isn't he, girls? Bobby Sybil from Southport, England, defender. Also coming out to stand next to Bobby Sybil is the man with a wide part, Terry Mancini. He and his wife just had a baby on Friday. Been in this league 17 years, has Mancini, not in this league, but in professional soccer. Bill Beal, another of the 4 defenders. Finally, Ane Mahavalic, who lives in San Pedro, emigrated from Yugoslavia 9 years ago. He's 29 years of age. Bobby McAlinden, and guess where he's from? Manchester, England. That's Charlie Cook. They call him Bonnie Prince Charlie from Aberdeen, Scotland. He is a real world-class player. Keep your eye on him, number 5, Charlie Cook. There's George Best from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Probably one of the 2 most recognized figures in England, the other being the owner of the team, Elton George, or one of the owners. There's Ron Davies. He will play a big part in this game. Sort of looks like Elton John, doesn't he? Des Backus from Cape Town, South Africa. Finally, the league's leading scorer, Steve David from Trinidad. Blinding speed, as you will see during this game. So keep in mind, the field can be anywhere from 100 to 130 yards long. Here at the Coliseum, it's 110 yards. In width, it can be from 50 to 100. Here in the Coliseum, it is 70 yards wide. The only restriction they have is that you may not have a square field. That is 100 by 100. We're ready to play soccer. There are very few substitutions in this game. 45 minutes running time in the first half, then they'll take a break, and then 45 minutes running time in the second half. And believe me, they are on the move all the time. Dallas will have to kick off. They lost the toss. And John O'Hare will be kicking. Number 7 is Jim Ryan. The Aztecs have to be at least 10 yards from the ball when it is kicked. The Aztecs basically from goal out will be in a 4-3-3. And so are Dallas. And there's the opening play of the game, played wide over to the side. They will now back it up. That's Bob Hope, number 8. Gets over here to Neil Cohen. He will just try and put it into the Aztecs area. Nope. Let's try and give and go. Keep moving it down the field. Here they come. This could be the first scoring chance, and a save, and knocked wide. Ooh, what a save by Rigby. Did he get kicked as he went down? See how fast this game moves? Somebody got a little lax there. The Tornado turned on the speed. They got a good kick on the net, and Rigby had to deflect that one with the right arm. Let's watch it again. Here he comes. He's coming in the kick, and Rigby, boy, that looked like it was headed for the upper right-hand corner. That net is 8 yards wide, 8 feet high, and since the Aztecs put it out, it'll be a corner kick for the Tornado. Here it is from the 1-yard line. They launch it into the air, lands in front of the net, and is knocked out by Rigby. Okay, it's outside that box now. Now it's back in the penalty zone. There's contact. Was there a foul? No, there was not. Dallas in red controls, knocked down by the Aztecs in front of the net again. Now it's headed back to the Aztec defense. They will clear it out to the side, and here they go. It comes up the side, and Steve David gets a bump before the ball gets there. The ball knocked out by Dallas. So it'll be a throw-in for the Los Angeles Aztecs. Meyernick, number 15, knocked it out. Throw-in comes to George Best. He gets it to Steve David. David, an explosive scorer. He leads the league. Great speed. He's handling it with his feet. Look at that. Incredible. Now the ball is tackled away by Dallas, but knocked out of bounds by Kevin Cooley. So the Aztecs will inbound the ball, and the player inbounding the ball when he throws it in must have both feet on the ground, must throw the ball over his head with both hands. There it goes. Okay, it's brought in now, almost into that penalty area. That's the area in front of the net. The ball is not out. There it's out. The ball must be completely over the line before it's out of bounds. The player can be out of bounds, still playing the ball if the ball's not out. Thrown in by the Aztecs. David's got it. George Best, look at that move to his right, back to his left, 2 men on him. Somebody's got to be open. Best still working the ball. Let's see what the penalty will be. It'll be a free kick for the Aztecs as Best was fouled pushing. Now Dallas must be 10 yards away. Best can kick it anywhere he wants. There he goes. He launches it into the air, and Davies tries to head it toward the net. It's headed again up in the air, a back kick. There's David. He gets it up in the air. Now Pete Manos has got the ball. He is the only man, that is the goaltender, who can use his hands to play the ball, and he can only use his hands in that penalty area. He gets one of his intercepted by the Aztecs. Here they come in the penalty area. Good tackle. Contact made with the ball first. As long as you hit the ball with your feet first, you can then knock the player down. Here comes the Tornado up the field. They're spreading it out. Way to the side. This is where they're most effective. Watch a crossing pass now, and it's intercepted by Mancini. The Aztecs have a very veteran bunch of defenders. Terry Mancini is 17th year as a professional soccer player. But keep in mind, most of these players turned pro when they were about 17 years of age. Phil Beal, 14 years as a pro. Bobby Sibbald, 10 years as a pro. Okay, there's Charlie Cook. Inbounded now on the throw-in by the Tornado. They're wearing bright red today. Sent out to midfield. The Tornado will try and organize now. They'll try and spread everybody out, and they will pass. If you pass well, you will win the soccer game. Now back to the Aztecs. Steve David has it at midfield. He's moving down the field, moving. Passes forward over the 35-yard line. Now wide out to the side. Goes to Cohen. He gets it in the middle, but it's headed out of trouble by the Tornado. Now it's back to Best, number 11. He fakes. He moves. There! Here he comes. Nope, offside. Offside. Let's try and explain the offside rule now in soccer. When the ball is passed to you, at the time the pass is launched, you must have at least one defender between you and the goal, in addition to the goaltender. That wasn't the case, and so the Aztecs offside. And here comes the Tornado playing the ball up the field. Number 2 is Neil Cohen. Cohen has it up across the 35-yard line, tries a long pass, headed back by Mancini. It is incredible to me how talented these players are. Now watch Best. He was out of bounds. The ball was not. Here he comes again. He puts it in the open space. There's David. Here's the kick. No, good play by Dallas. David still controls to Best. He kicks left-footed. No, he's passing in front. Now it's bounced out again. The goaltender gets on it. Whoa. Here the goaltender is the only man who can use those hands, as George Best and Steve David, number 7 from Trinidad, had something going. Still a scoreless tie. 40 minutes to play in the 45-minute first half. The defenders playing ping pong back and forth with the goaltender there. Steve David watches. 110 yards long, this field, remember. Okay, there go the Dallas Tornado. Bring the ball up the field. A long pass, headed out of trouble, hopefully by the Aztecs. No, here comes the Tornado, 2-on-1. Pass, which should be an easy goal. No, knocked away by Mancini. Nice play with the goaltender out of position. And I believe, see what the referee has called. He's called a penalty. I don't know what it is. He's got his arm in the air. Maybe he's reaching for the brass ring. What are you calling? I don't know what he called. Apparently, Dallas pushed. So it'll be a free kick for the Aztecs. Okay. Goaltender handles it, sends it on the ground to one of his defenders. Remember, it's a 4-4-3 coming out from the goal for the Aztecs. The Tornado playing the same way. Now it's back to the goaltender. Now he throws it. Goaltender can do that, remember? Nice stop. Headed forward. David didn't see it. Kicked back out of the air by the Tornado. Number 10 is Kevin Cooley. He's been busy today. Over to Jim Ryan. Here the players talk to each other. The On Television Network has directional parabolic mics down there. Of course, if you hear anything really exciting, we're not responsible for that. Here come the Aztecs in midfield again. Okay. The Aztecs trying to get it in position. The ball on the line, that's not out of bounds. The ball's got to be entirely over. And by the way, that ball is just a little bit smaller than a basketball. George Best sends it into the penalty area. If Dallas should commit a penalty inside that big box that you see right there, then the Aztecs will get a chance to take an unhampered shot at the net. Called a goal kick. Penalty kick. Kick at the goal is called a penalty kick. Okay. Tornado moving the ball around now. They're trying to get something going. They're a very methodical team. They're very conservative compared to the Aztecs, who will go for the long pass or the Sockers edition of the home run whenever possible. Dallas much more predictable. They'll work their offense. Okay, the ball knocked out of bounds. The team who last touched it will have to defend, and the other team will get to throw it in. Okay, the Aztecs knocked it out. Thrown into the penalty area. Be careful down there, Mancini. Okay, now it's out of the penalty area. If he committed a foul in there, then it'd be a penalty kick. Back to midfield. Aztecs intercept. And a free kick. Interference has been called on the Aztecs, so they've got to get back 10 yards. And the Dallas Tornado gets a free kick. They take it at the net, I guess if they wanted to. They would probably try a play. It's out about 36 yards from the goal. That's the 35-yard line you're looking at right there. See that? Okay, it's over the 35-yard line. Into the penalty area, headed toward the net, and a kick saved by Rigby. Out of trouble by a defender, another kick. That was a nice play by Rigby, and with people in front of you, it's hard to keep track of where the ball is. That crossing pass in soccer, where it's kicked to one guy who heads it back in the other direction, it's hard to keep track. There's a good shot. 8 feet high, 8 yards wide. It's very hard to keep the ball out of that net. There's a lot of room to shoot. So now the Tornado, since the ball knocked out by the Aztecs, will take that corner kick. Placing it down there is Alan Hinton. Let's see, an in-swing or out-swing. He puts a hook on it, puts it in the middle, headed out by the Aztecs. Steve David gets it out of the penalty area. Headed back in by the Tornado, back out by Mancini. I'm not going to say they're using their head. There's Steve David. David bring the ball up the field, waiting for some help. David can really move when he turns it on. Look at that dribble. Missed tackle. There's David again. Fakes left, goes right. Stops, still got it. But tackled away by the Dallas Tornado. When you make foot-to-ball contact, that is when the man with the ball and the defender try and both play the ball with their feet, that's called tackling by the defender. That was a good tackle, great example of it by Dallas. They just send it back to their goaltender. He'll start the play, sort of like basketball or hockey, like an outlet pass. He wants to get it going the other way. He does not like having it in front of him all night. That is the goaltender playing his very first minutes of the year in the soccer season, Pete Manos, because of an injury to number 1 goaltender Ken Cooper. So Manos hasn't really been tested yet, not this season even, and not this game. Now he's going to punt it. Not a very good one. Gets it to midfield. Now it's headed forward by the Aztecs, headed back the other way. You can use any part of your body except the shoulder, elbow, hand, wrist, and so on. Missed tackle there. The Aztecs keeping it in play, coming toward the net, moving toward the penalty area. Nice dribble, nice tackle. See that? Missed tackle. Now coming up the field. Knocked away by the Aztecs. Now the Aztecs have it. And a long kick in toward the net for a header going the other way by Davies. It is headed, but not toward the net, and picked off easily by the 4 defenders for Dallas. It's a man-to-man defense in that close. They'll use a pressing zone defense at the other end, and the other guy's end. Okay, here's a breaking play, a crossing pass, but it's knocked away beautifully by the Aztec defense. As I said, these guys have played many years, and they know what they're doing. Nice pass headed over to the wing. To Backus, over to Steve David. Now up to Cohen, who's cheated way up. Cohen's going to try and get it in the middle to Davies, but he gets it over him, and it's headed away by Max Thompson. Dallas Tornado in a scoreless tie so far. 34 minutes, 25 seconds to play in the first half on the On Television Subscription Network. We hope you're enjoying it. Back to Manos again. The crowd getting a little restless. They're saying, hey, Dallas, now come on, let's get the ball in play. Dallas has never won a league game here in Los Angeles, but in Dallas, the Aztecs have never won there either. So the home team has won every game. There are no ties. We'll explain that in a minute. Okay, now the Aztecs send it back to their own goaltender. Bob Rigby kicks it better on the ground than in the air. Let's see what he does. Picks it up, drops it. Nope. Attaboy, Dan. Call it right. He punts it way down the field, and it's headed back up. Now the Aztecs have it. Nice pass, but a little lack of coordination there. George didn't know it was coming. A missed tackle. Friday night in an exhibition game against Chelsea, one of the Chelsea men had his ankle broken on a legal tackle. He had the ball. The Aztec tackled him, came through the ball, and got his ankle. So you can be injured in this game. Okay, headed back and forth. Trapped in the body, dropped to the feet. Passed over. Now they've got somebody in the penalty area, but it's deflected out of bounds by the Aztec defense. As John O'Hare was in the middle, they tried to hit him from behind, and he was going to bounce it into the net off his head, but he couldn't quite do it. Many players are quite good in the air. That is, they leave their feet, have that tremendous body control. Remember like Elgin Baylor had? He'd have been a great soccer player, I'll tell you. Okay, here we come. Alan Hinton, corner kick. He plays it very short. They've got a play on here, right on the goal line, and it's taken out of the air by goaltender Bob Rigby. Good play. That's what a goaltender has to do. He has to control the air. The allowable contact in soccer is shoulder-to-shoulder contact. You can bump the guy all you want with the shoulder. The players are not real big. The average guy is probably 5'10" and 170 pounds. They're very, very quick, very agile. Now to George Best. Look out. George puts it over on his left wing, but it's intercepted, but George has it fast. George Best fakes the kick. Look at those moves. Now with the left foot, he gets it over to the side to Bobby Sybil, the 10-year veteran. Sybil has it tackled away, and here comes the Tornado going the other way. Here comes the Tornado down the field toward the Aztec net. Still in midfield between the 35-yard lines. Now the Tornado brings it down. Dressed in red, but tackled away cleanly. Knocked out of there by Sybil. Back to midfield. The Aztecs are trying to get into a man-to-man zone. Nice dribble, nice move, nice kick, and a deflection. Nope, not in, and just wide. The play made by John O'Hare. He put it right in front of the net. Now, number 1, Bob Rigby. Rigby was all league, 1973 and 74, broke his collarbone last year. He's from Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, the goaltender. Mancini has the ball knocked out of the air. The Tornado comes in. They got 4 on 3. Moving it around. Alan Hinton still controlling. Alan Hinton takes the kick off of Mancini. Now it's bounced out of trouble. Backus. Again, it's picked off, and the Tornado pretty much controlling this game, although that's a little deceptive because the Aztec defense is pretty good, and many times when it looks like they're not in the game, they are. It's centered, headed out of trouble by the Aztec defense. Well, they're doing a good job with their head today. Very good in the air. Tony Bellinger brings it in. They got to play the give and go or the wall pass, as they call it in soccer, but it's picked off by Bobby Sybil. Sybil goes forward, kicks it forward. It's going to be out of bounds. The wall pass in soccer would be called the give and go. If you're talking about basketball or you were talking about soccer, they call it the wall pass because in England, most players learn to play the game between 2 buildings. And they would kick the ball off the wall back to themselves around a defender. They call it a wall pass. Here we call it the give and go. You've got that handheld parabolic directional mic down on the field, and we're bringing you a lot of the players talking to each other, also some fairly colorful language. Remember the camera that was first called the Creepy Peepee? Well, that's not really the name, but you know what I mean. Also, one of those down on the field. The On Television Network has a man loaded up with all that equipment, bringing you in very, very close, right down on the field. Mancini went down. Remember when he took the shot, he took it right in the groin area. That doubled him up for a while. But soccer players don't come off the field. Very seldom are they substituted for. If they're not seriously hurt, play just goes right on. They lie there and writhe for a while when they're ready to play to get back up. These guys are tough. Glad I'm making my living up here. Okay, here go the Aztecs. Steve David, keep your eye on him, number 7. They'll probably try and get the ball to him. Over to the side. Now it's centered by Backus. Bounced out again, and The crowd getting on the Aztecs for what they felt was a bad play. Now Dallas has got it. Oh, tackled by the Aztecs. Nice move. Going right around there is Charlie Cook. Bonnie Prince Charlie, number 5. He still got it. A world-class player, as is George Best. Nice move around. The shot coming in toward the net. The header is missed by Ron Davies. What was happening there? And let's see if we can take another look at that. It was a crossing pass that is from the right to the left. Davies was trying to jump into the ball. Just missed. See it right there? Trying to head the ball into the net. If he successfully did that, there's almost no chance that Pete Panos would have to stop that unless he anticipated it. The Aztecs knocked it out of bounds, kicked it out of bounds. So it's put in play by the Tornado. Now headed back by the Aztecs. They're at center field again. That's George Best. And he is screening the ball with his body. Nice pass. Over to the side. Mihailovic. I'll get that right pretty soon. Okay, here come the Aztecs. They're dangerous. They're in close. And they rule offside. They rule a Des Backus there, number 6. Didn't have a defender between he and the goal. If you refer to your copy of Season Ticket, that's your monthly program guide, you'll find all the upcoming attractions for the month listed in a very easy and convenient way. On subscription television, we'll be bringing you, besides a great line of movies, concerts, theater events, ballet, and a variety of sporting events, just like this one. The Los Angeles Aztecs and the Dallas Tornado live from the Coliseum. 28.5 minutes to play in the 45-minute first half running time. The Tornado has the ball down where they're dangerous. They're moving it around, trying to set up a play. Now it's in the penalty area. It is centered, knocked away. Nice play by the Aztecs as it's headed from one defender onto the foot of the other, and he gets it out of bounds. Now it will be thrown in by the Dallas Tornado. Mancini playing very well. He looks like he's the sweeper today. That is, staying back right in front of the goaltender and collecting all the garbage or the loose soccer balls that come through. Very smart, very heady player in the game for 17 years. You don't surprise him very much. There's Alan Hinton. He'll be taking the corner kick as the Aztecs had knocked it out. Now, he will put a curve on that ball. Watch it. Here comes an in-swinger right in front of the net. Dallas tries to head it. They do not. Whoa, goal! Goal by Dallas, and from a long way out. A long way out. It was outside the penalty area. George Lee kicked that one. Now watch it. It comes out to Lee, number 3. Headed out to him. He just takes that left-footed kick, and he finds the upper corner. That one about 6 feet off the ground, right inside the post. Nothing you can do. 1-0. The Dallas Tornado. Lee was right outside and took that shot, and a beauty, and he lifted it up where the goaltender really had no chance. Now that line is 18 yards out. He was off to the corner. That had to be going from side to side, about a 30-yard kick, and up in the air and beautifully placed. So it's 1-0. Lee scores on about a 28-yarder, counting the cross field. Now it comes in, and Manos gets out ahead of the Aztec attacker. Remember, he can use his hands. He drops it on the ground. He's being marked or defended, as the word is used in soccer. In soccer, you don't defend somebody, you mark them. Dallas Tornado playing in red. Bring the ball up the field. Keep in mind, in the first 10 Aztec games, the team that scored the first goal won. That does not bode well for the Aztecs. George Best was number 11. Tackled and then knocked down by one of the Dallas Tornado. And Best looks at the referee, and the referee says, George. He wanted the penalty. Okay, look out. Here comes the Tornado. They've got the ball in. Hinton shoots. Scores. Make that John O'Hare. Number 9. Boy, the Aztecs have been stung twice in a row. Let's watch that one again. Number 9 is going to score. He gives the ball. It comes back to him. 3 men handle it in between, and O'Hare gets the shot off before he can be defended. He was right in the middle, so he had all the corners to shoot for. He gave the ball to Ryan. Ryan centered it. 2 players handled it. It came back to number 9, John O'Hare, and he put it in. He is from Scotland, 30 years old, 5'9", 180 pounds, and he makes it 2-0 for the Dallas Tornado. Still plenty of good season tickets remaining for the rest of the Aztec home games. Operators are on duty weekdays, so call tomorrow. There's the number, 373-8522. Throw in now by the Aztecs, and they are trailing by 2 goals, 2-0. Okay, this will be a free kick for Best, and the Aztecs, or the Tornado, is supposed to be back 10 yards. You see what he does with it. He puts it in the penalty area. It is headed toward the net by Davies, but wide to the right-hand side. So now it'll be, they will take it out to the side. What are they going to rule here? We asked the goaltender for the Los Angeles Aztecs, Bob Rigby, as the play comes your way, what are you really concentrating on?
Well, I think my main consideration is just keeping the ball out of the net any way I can. What we try to do is know what attack is coming at us, and I'm familiar with Dallas's team. I played for their coach for 3 years, and I know quite a few of their players. They're very strong in the air with Kyle up front and Hinton, and they try to get service into the box. So it's important for me today, especially to try to control the ball in the air, to give my fullbacks a lot of help, and just to keep the defense organized and make sure that we don't give away anything that we don't want to give away.
Bob Rigby, and he really didn't have too much of a chance, that young man, on either one of the goals. The first one from long range by Lee, and he picked the top corner, and that's a very high corner, 8 feet high. The second goal, the player was positioned perfectly and pulled the ball back to his right while moving to his left. John O'Hare was down on the field. There he is. He says he's okay. He was kicked in the ankle, and remember, they wear no padding. The throw-in intercepted by the Aztecs. They're down 2-0 with 25 minutes left to play in the first half. Steve David has the ball knocked away from him, and now he is knocked down, and there's a penalty. David is the leading scorer in the North American Soccer League. Be sure and take advantage, as we take a look at Steve David, of the family coupon offer from the Aztecs and on television, which allows 2 adults and 2 children admission for only $5 when the Aztecs host the Las Vegas Quicksilver. That's next Sunday at 2 o'clock. The family coupon offer has been mailed to all of you on subscribers. That has got to be the best entertainment value in Los Angeles. Be sure you check the mailbox. Watch this shot on the goal now. It is thrown in, knocked down by the Aztecs. You're looking now from the goaltender's point of view, coming toward him. Okay, now we pick it up live. Best to the middle. Is it headed? No, it's knocked out of trouble by the goaltender. Almost got fouled up with his own defender. George Best put the ball right on the goal line. Now we've got another problem. Offsides by the Aztecs. George Best put the ball right on the goal line. When that happens, Ron Davies then tries to head it in, or any of the Aztecs trying to get it in. George very accurate. He can kick the ball about anywhere he wants to. Here's a free kick now by the goaltender. And he'll launch it all the way up the field, past the midfield line. Headed back. Dallas very good in the air today, as Bob Rigby told you. They really play the ball well with the head. Long kick now, gets it down into the Dallas territory. 2 guys bang heads, trying to head the ball. The Aztecs control, bringing it in toward the penalty area. Now it's in the penalty area. A fake, shot. That was wide to the right, I believe. Hit the netting on the right. Some of the fans here in the Coliseum thought it went in. The goaltender knew it did not. The Dallas Tornado 2, the Los Angeles Aztecs nothing. 23 minutes to go and 45 minutes running time in the first half. Now another corner kick. An in-swinger. Headed by Davies. Look at that. They try another head. They miss it. Nice play. Nice play. Davies, one of the forward, headed it over to Steve David. David tried to head it in the net. Didn't quite make it. Let's watch it again. See the head? No, just missed there, and it was not Steve David. It was Des Backus, number 6. Well, somebody handled it there with their hand, and I think they got away with it. Looked like it was Bobby Sibbald. You saw his hand up in the air, and I think he touched the ball, but nobody saw it, so I'll never tell. Here's Mancini. The Aztecs regrouping now. They're down 2-0. They have never lost to this team here in Los Angeles, but they're down now 2-0. Back and forth go the Aztecs, handling it with that remarkable foot-eye coordination. Steve David tries to pass, and instead it's intercepted. Now there's George Best, number 11, and he is tripped as the ball is just kicked out of bounds by Neil Cohen. He said, I didn't want to go one-on-one with Best. So Best will bring it in, 2 feet flat on the ground, 2 hands over the head. He brings it in. Cohen to David, knocked away by a defender up to midfield by Dallas. Boy, they really pass the ball well. They know where everybody is. They spread out, still spread out. Jim Ryan with the ball. Over here on the near side to Kevin Cooley. Back in the middle, look out. Here comes a shot on the net. Nope. They decide to try and set up a better shot in the penalty area. Nice move. Fake right, go left. See that curving shot? Did you see that? They were trying to kick it with the hook on it. That is curving the ball so it could be headed in on the crossing pass. It was not. Just went wide. It was Bob Wrigley, who's been stung twice already. The young man, the pride of Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, brings the ball up the field, comes back to him, and that's perfectly legal. Uses his hands, drops it, kicks it, moves it around. He can be called for taking too much time if the referee thinks he's delaying the game. He punts it upfield. We've got 20 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in the first half. The Aztecs nothing. The Dallas Tornado 2. A throw in by the Aztecs best. He brings it in. Controlled by the Aztecs. Now to the Tornado. One of the Tornado down on the field. As John O'Hare advances the ball, he's got a goal already. In from the sideline. Dallas will keep the ball out wide and then pass it in wide like that. And Mancini is saying, hey, I think I hit him a little hard. The referee comes over and says, you can't do that. Mancini says, who are you trying to kid, ref? They said, well, we go to the same barber anyway. Yeah, they're talking to each other. Okay. I have a free kick now for the Dallas Tornado. A little bit too much contact there by Mancini. He really creamed him pretty good. He's laughing about it now. He thinks it's funny. The guy in the receiving end did not think it was too funny. Here comes the free kick. Played short. Long one toward the net and over. And the Los Angeles Aztecs will have it played in by their goaltender. Free kick by the goaltender. Or a goal kick, actually. He controls it to a defender. Back to him. He dribbles it. Taking a look upfield. Saying, should I play it short or play it long? And he plays it long. He just launches it up into the air. It's over the 35 of Dallas. Comes in. Okay, there's Steve David with the ball. He's got it. Passes. Back to him on the wall pass with a give and go, but intercepted by the Tornado defense. And they've been playing that man-to-man very well, especially near their own penalty area. Knowing they got a goaltender who's playing his first game today because of an injury to their regular, Ken Cooper. George Manos hasn't really been tested yet. The Aztecs will try and take care of that. Backos to Steve David, the leading scorer in the league. He dribbles. Now he sends it over to the right. They're keeping it nice and wide. Play to the right. Now it's in the corner. An in-swinger. The header just misses, and the goaltender, Manos, was his own best buddy. Kept it out of there. Now here comes the Tornado the other way. They've got a 3-on-4. They'll slow down and play it very cautiously. Now they're slowing down. Amazing where they control the ball with the feet. I just can't believe that. There are many youngsters out in the valley right now, though, playing this game, and believe me, they can do it a lot better than you and I could when we were young. Here they come in. They're dangerous again. They're in close. They've scored twice. They fake. Knock it off the defender. It's played well by Mancini. He picks up the other man, tries to tackle and misses. And Bob Hope there, number 8, just jumps over the attempted tackle. That's offside for the Dallas Tornado. Remember, you must have one defender between you and the goal when the pass is launched to you or kicked. We asked George Best of the Aztecs to explain the difference between George Best's role with the Aztecs this year as compared to last season, his first year.
Compared to last season? Well, last season I played purely offensive. I played up front all the time. But when I went back to England last year, I was moved to midfield as a sort of to get more assists rather than score the goals. So this season I'm doing the same thing for the Aztecs. I'm playing midfield instead of a purely offensive role.
And as a midfielder, he's got a big playmaker's role, does George Best, and he is very good at it. He probably handles the ball as well or better than anybody else in the league. And he has put Steve David in there for several good scoring opportunities. Okay, it's 17 minutes to play, 2-0 for the Dallas Tornado. With us is Dick White, who is grounded in sports here in Los Angeles with the Lakers and the Kings at the Forum. Dick is the director of operations for the Aztecs. And Dick, little sneaky goings on there by the guys in the red uniform. What are they doing?
Dallas is setting up their defense to pull the Aztecs offsides on practically every play. They're trying to take away the long pass and any ball in the box by keeping everybody on the 18-yard mark, which is the outside of the box, and letting them come forward. Every time it looks like LA is going to play a ball in there, the whole Dallas defense moves forward, thus putting the LA players offside. And it's quite a move by Coach Al Miller from Dallas, who, by the way, happened to be Terry Fisher's coach in college.
Terry Fisher with UCLA. Now here comes the tornado in. A good scoring chance. Ball is tackled away and cleared by Mancini. And now it's out of trouble by Phil Beal. Now here comes the tornado back. They got a shot. They kick and just missed wide. Bob Rigby came out, but he really wasn't effective to cut out the angle. He hadn't had a chance to move out that far. And boy, Dallas taking a lot of scoring chances from 20, 25 yards out. That's pretty unusual, Dick, isn't it?
Yes, it is. They usually try to get closer into that box, but the openings have been there.
Okay, let's watch it again. Nice play there by Mancini. He got in the player's way, but Bob Hope just missed the net. Rigby wasn't a factor either. Hope just missed with a left-footed kick. And can these players kick with either foot? Does a par 5 have a dog leg? You better believe they can. Ambidextrous. Nice header again by the Aztecs, and they're really being thwarted by this Dallas defense. They have not sprung Steve David, who wears number 7, for a good scoring chance yet. And George Best, when he gets the ball, all of a sudden looks down and sees any pass he would make is offside, as Dick White has pointed out. Okay, now it's back in the backyard of the Los Angeles Aztecs. They trail 2-0. And remember, with a continuously running clock, you can't make any adjustments. You can't go talk to the coach. The coach really isn't a factor except at halftime, because the rules say he's really not allowed to talk to his players during the actual play of the game. So he's down there in just a very bad ground level seat is the way it works out. The Aztecs trailing 2-0. 15 minutes to play in the first half. 45 minutes in the first half. Straight running time. Same thing in the second half. If the game is tied, you go to 2 7.5-minute overtime. Still tied, you go to a shootout. Now that's George Best wearing number 11, trying to get hold of the ball, see if they can make a play. Dallas has the ball knocked down to midfield. The Aztecs play it wide to the left side. Here they come in. Bobby Sybil gets the ball to Backus. Nope, he lets it go by to David. David shoots, and an easy save for Pete Manos.
It was a very good play by Des Bacos there, Dan. He let the ball, he dummied on the pass and let it go by him to Steve David to try and take the Dallas defense by surprise.
And we'd like to remind all of you that Coach Terry Fisher, a very personable young man, coached at UCLA for a while, very successful there, came to the Aztecs last year. Terry's only 27 years old. At halftime, we pre-taped his explanation of some of the fine points of this game and the rules and offside. You'll see that at halftime. Header tried by Davies. It doesn't get in. Now it's booted out by the Tornado. They're a team, if they were a basketball team, you would say they never fast break. They take their time. They set it up to bring it down nice and slowly. They don't have the individual talent to play run with you, so they're very cautious. But they've scored twice. George Lee and John O'Hare both scored. George Lee, a defender who moved up, lost one from about 20 yards out, and then O'Hare from right in the middle, about 12 yards out. We've got 13:24 to play in the first period. There's George Best. Look at that foot. He kicks it, headed out of trouble by Max Thompson of the Aztecs. Thompson's from Liverpool. He's a young man. In fact, Thompson is only 20 years old. They say he plays the blood and guts style of soccer. What that means is when you get in his area, look out. Max Thompson, 6'3", 178 pounds, and that's pretty big for a soccer player in the North American Soccer League. He knocked the ball out of bounds. George Best kicks it, comes in close. Davies tries a header. He is knocked down. And let's see what happens here. What does the referee call?
The referee is called interfering with the goalkeeper on playing the ball against Ron Davies.
I'm not going to criticize the referee. I didn't see it that way. If he saw it that way, Dick, he gets to call it. Davies, that was played by the hand of Bobby Sybil, and he knew he was in trouble as soon as he did it. That was sort of frustration. He was just knocking the ball out of the air. And the referee just warned him he'll be booked the next time he does it.
Very surprised that he wasn't booked right there, usually on a deliberate handball, and that had all the earmarks of a deliberate handball.
That wasn't a deliberate handball. It was a pretty good imitation of it.
It's an automatic yellow card.
A yellow card, for those of you not familiar with soccer, is a formal warning from the referee to you that if you do that again, you are gone. The Tornado comes in, a chance to score, knocked away by Rigby. He saw Jim Ryan hard charging in there, and that was a foot tackle, really. He either blocked it or tackled a man with the ball, but he just slid out there. Here's Terry Mancini, 17-year veteran. He looks it, doesn't he, of soccer? Mancini, 6 foot, 170. He'll lose 3 to 4 pounds today, as all the players will, as they run that 7 to 11 miles. Well, that lands on top of the net. That's not good enough. It's got to be in. Now let's see who they ruled. Knocked that one out of bounds. Last played by the Aztecs. So a corner kick. Now again, Alan Hinton, he can play it short. He can send it out in front. He can try and put it right on the goal line. Let's see what he does. Here comes the kick. They're moving around very close to the goal line, and he tries to put it right on the line. Can they hit it? No, it's pulled right out of the air by Rigby. Beautiful play.
It was a great play by Rigby because Dallas had one of their players standing right behind, and if he didn't hit it, Jimmy Ryan would have hit it right into the open net.
Long pass to Steve David, the first time that's worked all day. David sends it back to Sybil. Sybil trips and loses it to the Dallas Tornado. And boy, are they passing the ball well. And I guess, Dickie, if you pass well, you win, period.
Passing is the key part of the game. You have to work the ball and get a good shot.
Dick White, director of operations for the Aztecs. Okay, the Aztecs bring it down the field again. They got Steve David breaking, but it's cut off by Manos. And boy, for a guy who hasn't played a minute this year, he's certainly been right into play.
He's been very active, and he's played very well so far.
He has cut down all the angles. He's anticipated everything so far. Oh, look at that play by Bobby McAlinden. What a beautiful name, huh? He left puts it in. Davies puts somebody on the turf as he heads it. There's Bonnie Prince Charlie. He's moving the ball. World-class player. Gets it over. Headed again. The Aztecs are starting to get pretty active, Dick. They are really, they're booting the ball well. They're playing with both feet. They're heading it from one player to the other. Their passing is starting to get much sharper.
Well, the key to opening up that penalty area is to keep the ball crossing in front of the goalkeeper so that he doesn't know which direction it's going to be coming from. And you try to move it as quickly as you can from one side to the other side of the net. The Aztecs did it very well, except they missed on the final pass.
That penalty area, 18 yards deep. How wide is it, Dick?
It's 18 yards deep, and it's
44 yards wide.
Yards wide.
That'll give you some perspective at home. Steve David, number 7, the speed burner. George Best, number 11. Mancini getting back on this one. He knocks the ball away, and it's picked up by Ani Mihailovic from San Pedro. He gets wound up with one of his own players. Coming the other way, Bob Hope, who missed a shot just a little earlier when he had a good chance to score. Rigby scoops it up. Boy, he makes sure. Now he flings the ball, throws it over to the side. Perfectly legal if you're the goaltender and inside the penalty area. Anybody else? That's a no-no. The Aztecs unopposed bring the ball upfield, being dribbled very nicely by Phil Beal. Pass over the left to George Best. Best changes direction, keeps the ball, centers it looking for David, headed out by the Dallas Tornado. And boy, they have really been covering David like a wet blanket out there.
They're doing a good job on him, a very good job, and they're cutting George off from making that pass to him.
8 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first half. The Dallas Tornado lead 2-0 on goals by George Lay and John O'Hare. One long and one beauty. We'll be replaying those for you at halftime if you missed them. The On Television Network for the first time bringing you live professional soccer from the Los Angeles Coliseum. Now the ball goes out of bounds. Then the field 70 yards wide. Knocked out by the Aztecs, thrown in by the Tornado in the red uniforms. They move around, a little illegal contact there, not called by the referee. Now here comes the Tornado, 2-on-1, the shot way high. Boy, it's getting a little physical out there, Dick.
It is, and unless the referee begins to take charge quickly, there's going to be more and more physical play. Soccer is just like any other sport. The players will do just what the referee will allow them to do.
The soccer ball is between 17 to 18 inches in circumference, a little smaller than a basketball, depending on how much air they pump into it. Headed back by the Aztecs trying to set up. Now Des Backus has it. Now he loses it. It's tackled well by the Dallas Tornado, and they are marking very well in their own end. Normally, they play a man-to-man defense in their own end, but Dick, it sure looks like a sagging zone to me around Steve David and George Best.
They're keeping everybody right around the center of the penalty box.
There's the shot, and there is really the first save that Pete Manis has had to make of any difficulty at all, and he made it very cleanly. Down on his knees, gathered it in, wrapped around it, launched it the other way on the outlet pass. Here comes the Dallas Tornado. Not spectacular, but they sure get the job done. Lots of passing. Notice no long passes. Nice short one, short and sure. And they are they are really playing this game well. There's the longest pass they've had all day. Headed forward for a try at a goal. Coming in around the defender on the goal line, centered and knocked out by Mancini. As that time, Glenn Meyernick coming in trying to make the play. Meyernick from Trenton, New Jersey, the #1 pick last year in the college draft. Glenn Meyernick, 22 years old, 5'11", 180 pounds. Defender, but he was sure down deep that time, wasn't he?
He had overlapped on the play, Dan, and when the man came up the middle, there was a chance for him to get out to the outside and take the ball, and he had an excellent chance of scoring if Terry Mancini hadn't come there.
Okay, here's with a handheld camera down on the field. Watch this from Hinton's point of view. See where he's going to put the ball. He puts it right, and it's nice play by Mancini to head it out, back in, look out. Here comes the tornado. They got the angle, but they don't have the ball. That's Mr. George Best. Hi, George. Nice close shot of him. Is it true? Did George Best really split up Los Angeles with Joe Namath? I don't know. We didn't get a chance to ask him. I bet if I know George, he took the beaches and gave maybe Beverly Hills to Namath, and everybody in between's a draft choice. Okay, down the field, the Aztecs coming in close to the net. Steve David has the ball headed to him. Oh! Nice play. The Aztecs trying to pick up Steve David going in on the net. Headed in there beautifully, but just behind him.
The Aztecs were called for offsides on that. Steve had cut behind the man a little bit too soon, Dan.
Steve was being picked up one-on-one, so he went to a 360-degree spin to lose his defender and took off toward the net, and he was all by his lonesome in there, but unfortunately offside. You're an Aztec fan. Fortunately, if you're a Dallas Tornado fan. 4 minutes, 55 seconds to play in the first half. Ball back to Bob Rigby. He brings it forward, and it'll be a free kick for the Aztecs. If he scores from here, I would be very surprised. He does not. The ball headed back by the Tornado. Unspectacular, but solid soccer. Boy, are they passing well. Now it's dribbled 20 yards, dribbled 30 yards by Jim Ryan. He still got it, still controls. Now he's got it back to Kevin Cooley. Cooley in midfield, and they've been shooting from here. See if they will. The shot, yep, they take another one, but Rigby gets in front of it. Boy, Dallas is teeing off from awfully long distance. Normally, you try and work it in closer, cross the ball from one side to the other in front of the goaltender and head it in, but they are really firing the long ones. But if one goes in, try some more.
Well, they're hoping to catch the defense off balance on the play and the goalkeeper asleep.
Chance blocked by the defense of Dallas. Now there's George Best. Which way will he go? Which way will he go? Fakes left, goes right, shoots! Oh, just wide right, and that was vintage George Best.
George is very upset with himself at this time for missing that shot. He thought that he had the corner there. He felt that he had the goalkeeper beat. He just put a little bit too much spin on his shot, and it went wide.
Player of the Year in England, 1968 and 69. Now watch this. Now watch the footwork. Watch the fake. Here he comes. Left. No. He's going right. Nope. Now he kicks it. Lets her go. And goaltender had no trouble, but George just fired a little bit wide right. George Best is probably the most complete soccer player on the field. Called the bad boy of British soccer. Why? Well, he's been known to frequent business establishments with tall stools on occasion. Front of the net by Steve David. But nobody there to get it. The Aztecs control. They'll try and work it in. Now they've picked up that moving zone that Dallas is using. Nice fake. Fires. Oh, almost headed in by one of the Tornadoes. Max Thompson trying to clear the ball, I guess, to his goalkeeper. Didn't realize the goalkeeper wasn't there. Had he successfully headed that one, he would have put it in his own net. Would it have counted? Yes, it would have.
Thompson was just trying to make sure that that ball did not go through. He could not see behind him. He didn't know whether there was another Aztec there.
In-swinger by Best, headed by Davies, but headed wide right. Ron Davies is the biggest Aztec at 6 foot, 185. Very good in the air, as you can see. Shoulder-to-shoulder contact is allowed. So when Davies goes up, he's got a couple of guys on him, and they're bumping him pretty good. Try from the other side. George Best with the right foot this time, puts the hook on it, and outswinger. Davies out there, heads it, back kick. That's a beauty by Dallas. See that back kick back over his head? There's Best again, puts it in the middle. Is it to Davies? Score, George Best! George Best just took his time and fired it. I I think Dallas was confused as I was. Some of them, I think, thought Best took the corner kick as he had everyone up to this time. But George Best, all by himself. It's sort of like flooding the zone and then hitting the weak side for the shot. It came over to the weak side to George Best. No defenders there, and he really belted it. George Best missed one a few seconds earlier, makes it 2-1 with only 2 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the first half. So here come the Aztecs. The Tornado had 2. Now George Best scores, and the Aztecs have 1. So that'll give the Aztecs a new little life. Steve David comes down chasing this one. Oh, they're really conservative play now by Dallas. They bring it back 60 yards to give it to their goalkeeper. He starts it forward again on the outlet pass. Minute 49 seconds to play in the first half. I doubt the Tornado's going to do anything to keep the ball in their own zone. What do you think? Okay. Steve David screens, but it's knocked out by the Tornado. It'll be thrown in by the Aztecs. They waste no time to Steve David. Will he shoot? Yep, but it goes off the defender. Out to midfield. The Tornado picks it off there. They're just going to try and kill the clock, I am sure. Whoop. No, now they just launch it down the field. It's killed there by Dallas. Down to the feet of Jim Ryan. He passes over to his left, into the middle. Back again to Kevin Cooley. Cooley over to the left, and they'll just watch it go. George Best picks it up. He's got 1 minute and 5 seconds to go about 70 yards with the ball. He passes forward to Backus. He kicks it toward the middle. Good tackle there by the Dallas Tornado. If you make contact with the ball first, then the man who has the trip, tough luck. Mancini into the play. Now it's moved down again into the attacking zone. 43 seconds to play, a lot of time. Steve David moves it over. In the middle now. They'll try and get it set up. Now way over on the right. Aztecs moving the ball well. Give and go. George shoots. Knocked down by the goaltender. Score! Oh, that was... Hold it. Is it going to be allowed? Is it going to be allowed, Dick White? What is the referee motioning there?
I'm not sure, Dan. We'll have to check.
I think he called offside. Let's watch it again. Watch the play come. There's George Best. George Best comes in. He fires. Here comes the rebound. It scores. The goal is disallowed. There's Terry Fisher. Not a happy guy right now. Goal is disallowed by the referee. 8 seconds to play. Now the referee says, time is up. He says time's up. He's got a nice smile anyway. He called time. He said that's it. It's over. The clock showed 8 seconds to play. Apparently he called offside. Well, he called interference on the Aztecs, and he disallowed the goal, which would have tied the game. So at the end of the first half, George Lee has scored, John O'Hare has scored, and for the Aztecs, George Best has scored. That is 2-1. Terminology used in the game of soccer.
Soccer in America is growing very rapidly, and we find that more and more people need to be educated about the rules of the game. Soccer is a fluid game. It goes for 90 minutes, and really, the game is very, very simple. What we want to talk about today are some of the fundamental kicks given in a soccer game over a particular 90-minute period. If the team in orange is attacking the goal down here with the yellow players defending, and a ball is played from midfield to a player running into an attacking position, and the ball goes over the end line from the orange team, he is awarded a goal kick to the defending team. The ball is placed on the 6-yard line, right in this space here, and one of the yellow players will try and clear it from a free kick from that space. A goal kick is awarded to the defending team when the offensive team kicks it over the end line. This is called the end line from corner to corner, the end line. This line is called the sideline. When the attacking team hits the ball over the end line, the defending team is given a goal kick. The ball is placed anywhere within the 6-yard area on the side of which the ball went out of play. So the attacking team then becomes the yellow, and they will try and play the ball to the other end of the field to start attacking. Now, there's another alternative. If the ball is played from the orange player in midfield, and the ball is played down here, and the yellow player gets to it, and out of desperation plays the ball over the end line from the yellow, it is now given a corner kick to the attacking team, because the yellow team kicked it over the end line. It's placed on the side, inside a 1-yard circle, and the orange team now has an opportunity to set up a free kick, a set play, into the attacking zone, into the penalty area. This one is a corner kick for the attacking team. because the defending team hit it over the end line. Now, the two variations, when it goes over from the attacking team, it's a goal kick. When it goes over from the defending team, it's a corner kick. Now, if the defending player had gotten to the ball and had an opportunity to play it to the sideline before the attacking player closed them down, it then is given a throw-in. This is when the attacking player has put pressure on the defender, but he still has enough time to put it out over the sideline. A defender would prefer to give a throw-in rather than a corner, because usually a throw-in is less dangerous than a corner kick. From a corner, a player is able to put the ball really very accurately to his teammates inside the 6 or the 18-yard box for an opportunity to score goals. From a throw-in, it's much more difficult to throw it into the penalty box with any accuracy to cause any problems to the defending team. Many times, teams will have a specific player which will take the ball from the sideline and throw it a long distance, say to the far post, to the back post. But there are very few players in any league which are capable of throwing the ball quite that far. So a throw-in, the ball goes out over the sideline from the corner flag on each end. Anytime it goes out over the sideline, a throw-in is given. Obviously, the team which kicked it out, the throw-in goes to the other team. So throw-ins are given many, many times over corner kicks. It's better for the defending team to give a throw rather than a corner. In the North American Soccer League, we have a unique rule which was put into the game because we wanted to try and open up the attacking game. We put in the 35-yard line. This is the offside line, which is 35 yards from the end line into the field. The normal offside line in the entire world is the halfway line. What it has done is opened up the attacking space for teams to push players closer to goal, so it gives the attacking team more area to run and play in. What has happened now, the 35-yard line on both ends, defending players use this as their offside line. Now, most people are confused when we talk about offsides. Offside is very, very simple. The rule states that two defending players must be between the attacking player and the goal when the ball is played. If the ball is in this position right here with the orange player, yellow is defending, two players, they cannot be offside when they're behind their own 35-yard line. Never. If orange players all stood behind yellow players in that position, they would not be offside because they're behind their own 35-yard line. But if the orange players stood in those positions now and the ball was played, they would be offside because they only have one player, the goalkeeper, between them and the goal. Now, they cannot be offside in their own half of the field or in their own 2/3 of the field as we have in our league. So what we have is a situation, if the ball is played by an attacking player in that position to this orange player, he's now in a position which he might be offside if there weren't another defender. If the ball were played to him now, he would be offside. If the ball is played to him now, he's not offside because he has a goalkeeper and another defender. What is important to remember is the fact that it's when the ball is played. If this player runs from a position, the ball is played to him, a chip pass from Georgie Best to Steve David. Steve David is very, very fast. He may have been onsides when the ball was played, but when he receives the ball, he's ran past the defender, and he looks like he's offside, but he isn't, because he was onside when the ball was played. So it's important for fans to watch when the ball is played, where was the position of the player when he ran. Referees many times have to rely on their linesmen to indicate when in fact the player ran and what position he was in. Offside, you cannot be offside from a corner kick. Obviously the ball is already on the end of the field, so it's impossible for a player to be offside. Anytime that a throw-in is taken, there is no offside. There's no offside from a drop ball, and you can never be offside within your own 2/3 of the field. Simple rules, easy to remember.
We're back live at the Coliseum where the sun has come out, but sort of a dark cloud hanging over the Aztecs. They thought they'd scored a goal in the last minute of play. It was a call that we have not been able to figure out exactly what he called. So with us, we just yank people into this broadcast booth all the time. Bill Mason is a referee instructor in soccer here in Southern California. So I figured if anybody knows why that goal was disallowed, it would be a referee instructor. Bill Mason, what did he call?
Well, the call was an offside call, as best we can determine from up here in the press box. From our point of view, we could not see an offside, so it's still hard to explain. I'm afraid that it's not a referee instructor that's going to have to decide what it was, but those people down on the field. They saw an offside, apparently. John Greenwald, the linesman on the far side, raised his flag indicating an offside, and that appeared to be what the referee was giving. But to be offside, there has to be participation in the play.
Well, okay, right now we're going to take a replay of that last goal attempt. So here it is. Okay, to back us to Steve David. That's going to come back to the left.
Now you see the
Okay,
linesman
now
is in
here's
position.
George Best. He's coming in. He'll take the shot. The carom comes off the goaltender, and it's fired in. And apparently they rule that Terry Mancini, in there near the goal, had gone offside.
Okay, you did see some people to the goalkeeper's left, to our right, that must have been determined to be interfering with the goalkeeper. To be offside, you have to participate in the play in some way, and interference with the goalkeeper, preventing him from getting to the ball, is sufficient to call offside. So, seeing it on the replay, it looks better than it did in live action.
Okay, still a mystery as to why this game isn't tied. The Tornado leads 2-1, and we remind those of you at home watching that tonight at 7, we will be premiering Paul Mazursky's Harry and Tonto. That's the film that stars Art Carney in the role that landed him an Oscar as the best actor.
First, he gave you Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. And then, Bloom in Love. And now, a new film from Paul Mazursky, Harry and Tonto. Most people think that being old is nothing but sitting around in the park feeding pigeons. That's because they haven't met Harry Coombs. He's 72, and believe it or not, he's got a lot in common with you.
You dumb son of a...
He has girl troubles.
When did you last sleep with a woman? Saturday night. March 1951.
He's got family problems.
My brother is insane. I don't like that bird.
He's getting hassled by the law.
Rage, blow, stop hurricane.
But Harry still has hopes and dreams.
When I was your age, I did a lot of foolish things. Then again, I still do a lot of foolish things.
So he's packing up his faithful sidekick Tonto and running away from home.
My cat has to relieve himself.
You're not supposed to have any animals on a vehicle.
I need something to get me to Chicago.
20th Century Fox invites you to hit the road with Harry and Tonto.
Are you Jewish?
No, I'm into Zen Buddhism these days.
You want to chase around a little bit?
And Harry and Norman.
You taking any of these drugs? LSD? Psilocybin? Heroin? You're a good boy, Norman.
Harry and Ginger.
Ginger, how old are you?
16.
Well, I guess I don't know what it's like to be 16 these days.
Neither do I.
Harry and Jessie.
Do you remember me?
Sure, I remember you.
You're still very beautiful.
Thank you, Alex.
Harry and Stephanie.
My name is Harry Coombs.
Stephanie.
How are you, Stephanie? You in show business?
I'm a hooker.
Harry and Eddie.
I'll help you find a place. You help me find a place. You know a good broker? I'm a broker.
Harry and the Con Man.
Now, easy wonder vitamin. You can rub it in, you can swallow it. Advise you do both. Good for your heart, good for your head, and good for your sex.
Harry and the Medicine Man.
Can you cure bursitis? Absolutely amazing.
I love my work.
Harry and Shirley.
You love me?
No, I'll tell you something, Harry. I don't always like you, but I do love you.
Art Carney and Ellen Burstyn in Paul Mazursky's Harry and Tonto.
I know what you're saying. Gee, the Dallas Tornadoes have shrunk. They looked a lot bigger in the first half. Well, that's not the Dallas Tornado. Those are youngsters who are out competing in youth soccer skills contest out on the floor of the Coliseum, and you're watching that in the background. Dick White, let's take a look at the stats in the first half. How about this one? Los Angeles had 17 shots at the Dallas net, and Dallas had 18 at the Los Angeles net. That's quite a few shots.
That's a game total, and a big game total, Dan, in a normal soccer game. And if they keep up that pace, the shot total is going to be unbelievable.
The saves, each goaltender had 3. The corner kicks, this is a pretty good indicator that you're at least down close to the net if you got a lot of these. Dallas had 8. Los Angeles had 6, and of course Los Angeles scored. The George Best goal came as a result from a corner kick. The only one that he did not take, by the way, where he did not put the ball into action. Fouls, none calling for a penalty kick, but fouls that at least stopped the play and gave the ball to one team to kick, and the other team had to stand back about 10 yards. There were 5 for Dallas and 4 for Los Angeles. Offsides, Dallas was caught 3 times. Los Angeles 5 times, and I would be very interested to know if the 5th time was on that goal that was disallowed. Let's take a look at the first goal that was scored. This one was scored by George Lay, and he scored it from pretty far out, but it was an excellent shot. Here comes the corner kick. It'll come back out to your left. Okay, it's headed out by the Aztecs, headed over to the left. Watch that, right out of the air and up into the corner. That is a good shot. Picked it right out of the air, booted it with the left instep, and put it right up there, and there's not much a goalie can do when you're on one side of the net and you put it just inside the goal post on the other side of the net. Okay, let's take a look at the second goal, and here's a real nice effort. Okay, Dallas brings it down. Now watch the passing. One pass, out wide, 2 passes, starting back in. 3 passes, 4 passes, 5 passes, a shot and in. What a beautiful play. That one was scored by John O'Hare, and he was simply the trigger man on the end of some very, very fine passing. So those were the 2 goals for the Dallas Tornado. The goal scored, the first one was at the 17:22 mark by Lay. Then at the 18:25 mark, O'Hare scored for Dallas. And Los Angeles finally got back into the game when George Best scored at the 42:58 mark. George Best is probably a Los Angeles Aztecs because of a man named Elton John. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's take a look at George. This is Bob Rigby, the Aztec goaltender. And pardon me, that was that was Rigby. Okay, now here it comes, bouncing out in front. George Best fakes, goes right, shoots. This is the one that went wide. Okay, that's what we were seeing there. That was the one that went wide. Good footwork by George Best. He was called Georgie Best when he was in England, but he says, no, I'm a little older now. I'm 31 2 weeks ago. I think you should call me George. Here are the standings in the Southern Division. Las Vegas on top. Keep in mind, when you win a soccer game, you get 6 points. You get an additional bonus point for every goal you score, up to 3. So it's possible to get 9 points for winning a soccer game, and you get a minimum of 6 for winning. You have to have more than that because you have to have a goal to win. So the minimum is 7, the maximum is 9. If you're the losing team, you get a bonus point for every goal up to 3. The winning team gets the 6. So you can see that the Aztecs, if they were to win this one, score the required 3 goals, they would have 71 points and would be ahead of Las Vegas. You can also see that Las Vegas has played 12 games and the Aztecs have played only 10. So they got 2 games in hand, counting this one. The Dallas Tornado right behind them. Dallas can't tie the Los Angeles Aztecs now because the Aztecs have scored a goal, but they can make it an awful lot closer. So standings can change rapidly in the North American Soccer League. 6 points for winning, a bonus point for every goal you score, up to 3, and the losing team gets a bonus point for every goal, up to 3. Top 3 teams in the division will make the playoffs that start in August. Okay, here's the final goal, scored by George Best. There's Backus to Steve David. Over to the right now to Bobby McAlinden. Now there to George Best. Here he comes. He fires. Okay, this is the one that was disallowed. Now I think they must have ruled that somehow somebody on the Aztecs interfered with the goaltender when he blocked that shot. That kept him from hanging on to the shot, perhaps. We couldn't see it, and to tell the truth, our angle didn't show it perfectly, but that must be what they ruled. You know, as we try to bring you the best in local sports coverage here in Los Angeles, a reminder that we will be at Dodger Stadium Tuesday, June 14th, as the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Thunder and Lumber Company, make their first appearance in the Southland. I'm telling you, he's Del Tanner is, Del Tanner. He's the Chuck Tanner. That's the Laker trainer, Del Tanner. Chuck Tanner, one of these days, is going to send the trainer out there to steal second base. It's incredible the way Pittsburgh is playing this year. He's taken the style that he had in Oakland, and he has really got Pittsburgh running. Boy, they're an exciting club. And, of course, you know about the Dodgers. Is anybody better? Nope. Simply my opinion, but you'll be right there in Dodger Stadium June 14th at 7:30. The On Television Network will have you there live. And Tuesday, the 28th, it's the Angels versus the Western Division champions of the American League, the Kansas City Royals. And I know you'll enjoy that one. Dick Enberg, Don Drysdale live from Anaheim Stadium at 7:30, right here, only in your living room. And I'll bet that you don't sit there by yourself and watch those games. I'll bet all the neighbors are in there freeloading. Aren't they? Sure they are. Tell them at least bring their own stuff, huh? We hope you're enjoying the On Television Network. You're live right now at the Los Angeles Coliseum, where the Los Angeles Aztecs have got 45 minutes to score 2 goals and beat the Dallas Tornado. Dick White, let's talk about what happens if there is a tie. Let's say this game ends 90 minutes as they come out from under the tunnel. There's the Dallas Tornado coming out onto the field. What happens if we've got a tie at the end of the 90-minute regulation?
We go to sudden death overtime, 2 7.5-minute periods of play. If we're still tied at the end of that 15 minutes of action, we go to what the North American Soccer League calls shootout. And it's a very, very exciting way to decide a game. It becomes a 1-on-1 contest between a shooter and the goalkeeper. And the ball is put on the 35-yard line, and a shooter has 5 seconds in which to break in on goal and take his shot against the goalkeeper. Each team will have 5 men take shots, and at the end of the 5, the team that has scored the most of goals on the shootout is declared the winner of the game.
Here come the Aztecs. As we remind you, there's still plenty of good season seats remaining for you to see the rest of the Aztecs home games. The operators are on duty weekdays, so call tomorrow. Write the number down, 373-8522. That's for Aztec season tickets. You and George Best can spend the summer together. George Best is called the bad boy of British soccer. Why? Well, George Best has a little different idea about training rules. George has been known to go out with girls on occasion. George Best has been known to have a snort now and then. He has retired 3 times because of clashes with coaches. As we take a look at George, he was brought out of retirement last year by a man who was then a part owner and is now a part owner of the Aztecs, a man named Elton John. He persuaded George that it might be a good idea to come over and play soccer in Los Angeles. George liked it, and he's back into soccer in Britain, too. We hope you're enjoying the exciting game this afternoon. We remind you the Aztecs host the New York Cosmos live from the Coliseum on July 2nd. The Cosmos are led by the world-renowned superstar Pele, the Black Pearl. You'll see him right here. Franz Beckenbauer, also signed for what, $90 million or something, Dick?
$1.5 million.
Well, as far as that's compared to my salary, that's $90 million. I'm doing this game for $1.380 if you're wondering how much you get paid to do this. Okay, we're set to go in the second half. The Aztecs move it back, and here we go. They change directions now. There's George Best. He boots the ball forward to Backus. Backus is tackled legally by the Tornado. Alan Hinton up forward again, and boy, Dallas, they're methodical, but they sure get the job done. The Aztecs Mancini plays it back to Bob Rigby. He dribbles it once, overhands it over to the left-hand side, and the secret, keep the defenders spread. So left side. Back to the middle now to Charlie Cook, Bonnie Prince Charlie. Over on the right side to Ani Mihailovic. Mihailovic, whose name covers up the 2 lines on the back of his uniform, I'll bet, gets it forward. Just out of the penalty box there. George Best has the whistle blow, and George is not too pleased with an offside call. And George is saying something to the linesman. Well, I hope we don't have that parabolic mic too close, or we might all find out what he's saying. George Best one time walked by a referee about 2 weeks ago, and the referee had booked about 6 players in the game on a yellow card. And Best said, you got any yellow paper left, ref? And the ref said, I've got enough to book you, George Best. And Best said, not likely. I don't think you could spell it. Tornado 2, the Aztecs 1. 43 minutes, 45 seconds left in regulation at the Los Angeles Coliseum. As you watch the game live, here comes the Dallas Tornado. Looking for number 3, crossing pass sent to the goaltender by Terry Mancini. That was not a mistake. He was just directing the ball to Rigby. Rigby is being marked there by one of the Dallas defenders, which is unusual for them. They usually drop right back. Do you suppose the Aztecs could out-condition the Tornado today, Dick?
Well, I think there's certainly an advantage in the Aztecs having played in this kind of weather. And by that I mean Dallas is hot, but the humidity here is so bad with the smog.
Okay, in a minute we'll take a look at the lineups as you take a look at Des Backus. There's the Tornado. We'll let you read the name. Manos, the goaltender, Cohen, Thompson, Myernick, and Lee, the defenders. Midfield. There they are. And F means forward. A 4-3-3 set up on your screen for the Dallas Tornado. Okay, the ball will be thrown in by the Tornado right now. They're wearing the red uniforms. They're moving from your right to your left. And if they're not, you're watching your screen backwards. The Aztecs, Rigby in goal with Bobby Sybil, Terry Mancini, Phil Beal, and Ani Mihailovic on are the defenders. Now here comes the Tornado. They're in close. Coming into the penalty box, they headed in for a kick, and nice play. Nice play by Mancini. Legal tackle. He got to the ball at the same time that Jim Ryan did. He sent Ryan sprawling, and the ball across the line, and Ryan even touched the ball last. Beautiful play by Mancini. The Aztecs are playing much better, Dick, than they did in the first 20, 25 minutes of the game. Midfield and forward, there they are. Bobby McAlinden, Charlie Cook, George Best, Davies, Backus, and Steve David. Okay, the referee has called a pushing foul. It'll be a free kick now for the Aztecs, and the Tornado must get at least 10 yards away. It'll be George Best. See what he'll do. Will he send it deep, play it short? Nope. He sends it to Mancini. Here comes Steve David. He shoots just wide left. That's the guy they try and get the ball to. The leading scorer in the North American Soccer League, Steve David, 6 foot, only 155 pounds. In Trinidad, he is still rated as one of the top sprinters in track in the country. Whip it thin, but tall enough to be very effective in this great game of soccer. Steve David. 41 minutes to play in the second half. The Tornado 2. The Aztecs 1, and one they thought they had that was disallowed. Now midfield controlled by the Aztecs, and in midfield they're playing much better, at least so far in the second half. Over to Mihailovic on the near sideline. He sends it forward. Kicked in to Backus for a try at the net. He didn't quite get there. I look down, and Kyle Rote has not been substituted into the Dallas Tornado lineup, as a lot of people thought he would be in the second half, or is it too early, Dick?
It's a little early. I think you'll see Kyle probably about 15 minutes into the half.
Look at that action. Des Backus. There's Bonnie Prince Charlie. Charlie Cook says, "Are you kidding me? What the hey, ref? They knocked it out." I think that's what he's saying. Is that what they say in Scotland? What the hey? There's Meyernick, the #1 draft pick last year, headed forward by the Aztecs. They've got some animation, and they're going now. Headed, back kick. Killed down onto the field, down onto the feet. Missed tackle by the Aztecs. Going the other way is the Tornado, and they got 3 guys in motion, but don't hit them with the pass. The Tornado cannot pass the ball as well as Cook can, as well as George Best can, but they got a 3-on-4. Now they hit the open man. Will he take a long shot? Trying to move it into the penalty area. Ooh, right off the back of the head of one of the Aztecs. I bet that's smart. Nice shot, and knocked away up over the net.
Dallas put a lot of pressure on there, Dan, and had 2 excellent chances to score. Fortunately for the Aztecs, they were not able to put it in.
Rigby was standing right there. So it looked like Bob Hope, not the comedian, but the soccer player, tried to lift it over him. He got it just a little too high and over that crossbar, which is 8 feet off the ground.
Aztec coach Terry Fisher is taking somewhat of a calculated gamble at this point. He's moving the defenseman up considerably and putting the midfielders up considerably on the attack, trying to get that equalizing goal.
Well, the defenders are overlapping with great regularity. There's Backus. He sends it back to Best. Best dribbles around around 2 men. Still got it. Back to his left for a header, in and score! Beauty. Assist by George Best. A goal by Ron Davies, and Best centered it with a right inset. Davies put that header right into the net. Okay, watch Best. He moves it to the right, draws the players to him, sends it back to the left, and Davies heads it right in. And he was taking a shoulder check at the same time, put it in. Nice play by Ron Davies. He's from England, 6 foot, 185. He has been playing this game for 17 years, 34 years old. Davies is the leading active scorer in the entire British Soccer League. There you see why. Best assisted. Davies put it in. It's a 2-2 tie. We got 39 minutes to play. And the referee has called a foul on the Tornado. Best on the attack, and boy, Terry Fisher's strategy is working. They got the 1 back. Right in the middle for another header, tried by Davies. Now he kicks it, knocked down by the goaltender. Another kick over to Davies, and a whistle blown.
Referee's calling a dangerous play there on Ron's kick in front of the goalkeeper.
We asked Ron Davies, when the Aztecs have a corner kick, how do you, Ron Davies, and George Best communicate on where each of you will be?
Yeah, well, George is such a good kicker of the ball. He takes all the corner kicks and free kicks. And we have set plans. We have at least 3 or 4 different set plans. So really, you know, we just give 1 or 2 signals, and there might be a little finger or touching the ball, different things like that. But we're well organized in free kicks and corner kicks. No problems there at all.
I guess not, Ron. You just put one in. That was Ron Davies. Here they go. Anima gets it back to his own goaltender. The Aztecs, the outlet pass to the left, and here they come. The crowd is alive at the Coliseum. You're here live at the Coliseum. 38 minutes to play. Steve David has it. He centers it, but nobody there. David is knocked down. Now the referee's walking over. He's saying, "Hey, Steve, what the hey? Get up. What are you trying to draw a foul? Do you want an Oscar?" No, I don't think that's what he's saying, but I think Steve David gets the point. David is so fast. He is so fast, you make one mistake, you're in big trouble. Okay, he is fouled. The Aztecs get the free kick. They play it short. Coming in toward the middle now. The Aztecs, they smell another goal, and they get it over there, but it goes wide. And they were trying to hit Georgie Best coming down the right side. Pardon me, George Best. He doesn't like to be called Georgie Best anymore. Really a good-looking guy, I'm told.
Goalie's not going to kick it.
And George Best loves it here in Los Angeles. Let me tell you, he loves it here in Los Angeles. Okay, a long boot by the Tornado to get it out of trouble. They're really feeling the pressure because the midfield is being controlled in the second half by the Los Angeles Aztecs. They have tied the score. They were down 2-0. They've scored 3 times since then. One was disallowed. George Best has scored 1. He has set up 1. He wears number 11. It comes down to Steve David, who has just scored the goal. He's marked very well by Dallas's Max Thompson, who heads it up the field to Alan Hinton. Hinton over on the near side to John O'Hare, who's got a goal already. O'Hare centers the ball. He's marked very well by Mancini. That is defended. Marked with the soccer term for defending to Steve David. He passes out to his left. No, he doesn't. Passes back. And it looks like he's bounced again by another Dallas player, and the player gets the benefit of some conversation from the referee. Aztecs on the move, crosses the 35-yard line. Getting near the penalty zone, and of course if they're fouled in there, then it's a penalty kick. They got it close, Nice fake again. I'm dizzy just watching. Here it comes. Best. Wide left. Oh, he is saying, what the hey? I thought I had it in again.
It was a superb play by Charlie Cook, dribbling the ball, beating his man.
Watch Charlie Cook. There he is. Fake one way, fake the other way. To Best. He's got it. Look at it. And he misses it. Of course, if you're a shooter, you don't try and kick the ball in the middle of the net because I guarantee you won't score. So they're trying to put it just inside the post. And if you miss just outside the post. And that's what George Best did. At 31, he is at the zenith. His powers as a hockey player. Soccer player. No skates down there, Tim. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you are. This is our first year in soccer. We're not trying to fool anybody. I think it's a tremendous sport. Okay, with 35 minutes to play, here comes Dallas. Oh, nice play coming back. He just outran the Dallas player to get to the ball.
Bobby McAlinden came back and saved what could have been a very dangerous situation.
A name like Bobby McAlinden, you don't suppose he's from the British Isles somewhere, do you? He's from England, if you're wondering.
Yeah, I think the important thing right now is that the tempo of this game has completely changed. Los Angeles has picked up the action, and they're forcing the attack at this time, and Dallas is sitting back, not moving at all on offense at this particular time.
They're not moving much on defense either. In fact, Dallas has got it in reverse most of the second half, and as we said, since the coach is not allowed to talk to the players, Jack Ramsey would love to coach this game. You know, there's not much you can do as a coach to exhort your players. You can hold up a sign and say, "You dummy, get moving," I guess. No, that's not allowed technically either. Your players just have to realize that they're screwing the whole thing up, and they better get going. Now, here they come. They're trying to make amends right there. But Mancini got a foot on it. That was not a serious attempt by Jim Ryan. He just put the ball in the area hoping something would happen, and it did not.
I think the big difference you're seeing now is that they're dumping the ball off in that area rather than making good passes.
Okay, Steve David caught a foot on the ankle. Now, what happened was the player tried to tackle the ball, but instead, what happened was Glenn Meyernick got his ankle instead, so the Aztecs got a free kick. Look at George Best. Finally tackled away from him. George Best is just a magician with his feet. It's incredible. Is that a God-given talent, Dick, or can you work and get to be that good if you work hard enough?
You can develop the talent, but I don't think anybody can develop the talent that George Best has.
And he's also a good soccer player. Okay. Steve David has the ball. There's a lot of talent there, too. Watch that. Oh, give and go. Give and go. Can they get it back to him? No. He's tripped. There's his shot. They were trying to work the wall pass, as they call it in soccer, or the give and go pass, as Jerry West would call it. And it didn't quite work, but there was a little thumping down in there. Wasn't exactly legal, but according to the referee, not exactly illegal either.
The Aztecs at halftime have talked apparently about an opening in the middle of the Dallas defense, and they're trying to work the ball to George, charging towards that middle to give him a shot. That's 2 times they've worked that same identical play.
Well, you've got 2 real youngsters in the middle of the Dallas defense. Max Thompson is 20 years old. Glenn Meyernick is only 22 and in his first year, and I think they're going to go to work on them, Bill.
Dallas is also at this time missing Steve Petcher, who was the Rookie of the Year last year and normally plays in that middle section and beats up that defense.
And he is also the guy that normally goes head-to-head, literally, with Ron Davies, who headed the ball in the net. So Davies has an advantage. Petcher is not here today, and Davies is really controlling the air in front of the Dallas net.
That's correct.
You don't think I'd lie to you, would you, Dick? Okay, there's... Have I lied to you yet? There's Bob Rigby clearing it out. 110 yards long, 70 yards wide is field at the Coliseum. If you're just joining us live on the ON Television Network, first ever game of the Los Angeles Aztecs that you're able to see in your living room, your bar, the laboratory, wherever you got your TV set. Coming up the right side there, Ana Mihailovic from San Pedro. Gets it over to Des Bacos from South Africa. That's a long pass, isn't it? Bacos has got it in the penalty area, but not quite. Now back to midfield. Dallas is just saying, hey, let's just get rid of the ball. And they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves because they're conceding the 35-yard line to the Aztecs, it looks like this. A 2-2 tie with 31 minutes and 26 seconds to play in the game. Dallas had the first 2. George Best scored 1 and then set up Davies for a header for the second one, and the Aztecs are now even. Dallas keeps the ball in play. They're coming one of the few attacks they have had in the second half of the game. Let's see how close they get. They move it up. They try and launch it into the penalty area. It's headed into there and just booted right out again by the Aztecs. Nice hustle. That time the Aztecs were saying, you can play it? Said, no. What do you mean, says Dallas. We didn't get that ball. See him standing behind the man taking it in. Error. Okay, there's the Tornado in red. They're ready to go. Off to the right. Back to the middle, intercepted by Mihailovic. A back-footed pass off the heel from George Best. Coming upfield on the Aztecs. They got David cutting, but they can't get the ball to him. Now over on the right side. That's still Beal. He puts it in the middle. Can it be headed by Davies in again? Not this time. George Best out of the penalty area. Controls the ball. Fake, in, shoot. Header just wide. Woo! That's Terry Fisher, and that time, Ron Davies, you wonder how he loses that hair, bumping into other people. Here's what looks like an instant replay of the last goal, but not quite. Ooh, that hurt. He headed it into the goalpost. How much closer can you get, Dick?
George made a great move. He's been going to his right the entire game, and the defender tried to overplay him to his right. George took the opening on the left side and used his left foot on that and set up a great chance for Ron Davies.
If I were Terry Fisher, I wouldn't be that worried right now. His team is going well. There's Steve. No, it's over. 8 feet high, 8 yards. That is 24 feet. Using rapid mental gymnastics. Wide in the goal. Who says I don't know this game? Are you kidding me? Do you see how I converted yards to feet there, Dick? In a twinkling of an eye. 29 minutes, 29 seconds to play. Running time as always. And a great game of soccer is played in the North American Soccer League. George Best. You heard Davies say they exchanged signals. Here comes the ball. Oh, and Davies never got it. It was intercepted on a beautiful play by Pete Manos, the 24-year-old goaltender playing his first game this year in the league. In fact, he hasn't played since about the first of last season.
That's right. He played for San Antonio in 1976.
Oh, nice tackle. Oh, incredible play. Incredible play by Charlie Cook. Bonnie Prince Charlie is a world-class player, as is, guess who? George Best. And I think you might apply that pretty soon to Steve David, too. Ooh, there's Ron Davies. He says, what do you mean, Dan? I'm a world-class player. Okay, Ron. Now they're heading it around, picked out of the air. Looking at the scouting report on George Lay, the man that scored the first goal, says he's very good with his left foot. He proved that, picked one out of the air and put it in the net. David goes down again trying to draw the foul, but does not. The Dallas Tornado. Have you noticed that there are no substitutions? Have you also noticed they run quite a bit? This is a tough game. Okay, here they come, trying to bring it across the 35-yard line. It's knocked down. Now the Aztecs have got it in the open field. There's Des Backus. He brings it down the middle. He says, Steve, get going. David takes off, but they can't get the ball to him yet. Now Best will try and put it in there, way down in the corner. They'll try, let's see, a cross pass. Nope, they bring it in close to the penalty area, into the penalty area now. Knocked down by Backus, headed over to Steve David, shoot, wide. That was a beautiful play by Backus. Did you see that? He killed the ball with his head. That is, the pass came to him. He absorbed the impact with his head, killed the momentum on the ball, see down to his foot, then heads it over to David, who kicks it wide. Backus that time passed from his head down to his foot, back up to his head. That was not an accident. That is something that they work on. He's immensely talented in that foot-to-eye coordination. And let me tell you, out in the valley, they are playing a lot of youth soccer right now, and that is a skill that your youngster probably has or will have very soon. Both boys and girls playing youth soccer, and an awful lot of them playing. In fact, probably more youngsters playing soccer now than almost any other sport.
150,000 in Southern California, Dan.
That even includes where I live, way down in Orange County. Orange County, of course, we play very conservative soccer. There are no left-wingers playing soccer in Orange County. 26 minutes and 52 seconds to play in the soccer game. A 2-2 tie. Dallas had the first two, and Los Angeles has had the next three. But the middle one was disallowed for some reason, as yet unexplained, so it's only a tie. Here come the Aztecs. They are really moving now. They're playing with spark, playing with great enthusiasm. Mihalov is looking for the ball, but he doesn't get it as it's carried up the field by Bobby McAlinden. McAlinden into the penalty area, knocked out on a header by the Dallas Tornado. They give it to Ryan going the other way. Ryan dribbles. He's still got it. He's through the midfield stripe. Coming down towards the 35. Now he gives it over to Bob Hope. Hope over on this side. And you can hear him yell, "Hey, Al." That's our microphone. That's Alan Hinton with the ball. Very talented, very talented. Watch him go. Watch him dribble. He kicks. That was a bad shot. He was way too far out to kick it right at the middle of the net.
He did not have a good opening there and really wasted the opportunity.
You know why he kicked it, friends and neighbors? Because nobody was moving. They're all standing down there like spectators saying, "Good, Al, kick it in." So he had nothing else to do. Here come the Aztecs. They're moving. Mihailovic, Ani in the middle. He's looking for Steve David. Bounced out there. Whoa, nice play by the Tornado. Unfortunately, picked right out of the air by the Aztecs. Now the young man from Liverpool, Max Thompson. Well, that was Glenn Meyernick. Meyernick over on the right side to Thompson. Thompson now taking a look. He's got it over to Tony Bellinger. Bellinger upfield. I'll tell you, they just have not been able to move the ball at all. You hear that? Just sticking your leg in. Something like that. I wonder where he gets his hair done. That's the referee. Free kick for the Aztecs. Here they go. They're coming down. They're not wasting any time. Inside the penalty area. Look for Backus on the right. Now he's got it. He kicks it. Just over the crossbar.
Dan, Desi Backus has been snake-bitten this season. He's had several opportunities in the early game to score.
Be sure and take advantage of the family coupon offer from the Aztecs. And on television, which allows 2 adults and 2 children admission for only, can you believe it, $5 total when the Aztecs host the Las Vegas Quicksilver. That's next Sunday at 2 o'clock right here at the Coliseum. The family coupon offer has been mailed to you if you're an on-television subscriber. And if you're not a subscriber, you're a freeloader in the living room there. You should at least bring the beer. Okay, 24 minutes, 49 seconds to play in the second half. In regulation time, there are no tie games in the North American Soccer League.
Dan, we were talking about Des Backus there. He's been in a scoring slump. He has not scored a goal this season.
That's a
in
slump.
The Aztecs' first 11 games. Yet he has been a very hard-working player. He's created numerous scoring opportunities. Coach Terry Fisher is just quite sure that when Desi gets that first one, they're just going to follow in bunches after that. And I think he may be one of the key men to watch in the closing minutes of today's games as the Aztecs try to get that tie-breaking goal.
Okay, number 6. That's Desi Backus from South Africa. Over now on the right side, and the guys in the white uniform are controlling this game. That's Ani Mihailovic, number 17. Steve David, a header forward. Ron Davies, who has 1 goal. They're trying to get the ball forward. Davies has it over the defender. Back kick and a beauty. How'd you like to have coordination to be able to do that? I do it on the dance floor, but unintentionally. Okay, here comes the Tornado up the left side of the field. Number 6 for the Tornado. Has just been substituted, Dick. Just come in. No. Number 6 for the Tornado. Roy Turner. Okay, Turner has come in for our Hinton. You know what that means? That means, let's watch that again as you see Bob Rigby. Turner, normally when he plays, shadows George Best. That means he tries to stay tighter than his uniform jersey. Okay, watch it again. Here comes the tornado, the kick, and nice save by Rigby, although I think that would have been wide had he not made the save. Okay, number 6 in the red uniform will be in there, and he'll be right with George Best. He'll be able to tell you if he used any deodorant or not. He'll stick that close to him. They said, Best is killing us. We're going to shadow him. And a header in by the Aztecs. What was the whistle?
Referee called interference by the Dallas player going over the back of the Aztec defender on the play.
Okay, the corner kick by Dallas. Now another whistle. And what's this for?
Should be a free kick by the goalkeeper.
So Dallas, their best opportunity is to score in the second half and called for a violation. The clock keeps running throughout rain, snow, sleet, or corner kick in this game. 45 minutes running time. Okay, the Aztecs on the attack again. They have been the entire second half. Bonnie Prince Charlie, number 5. The ball is tackled by the Dallas Tornado. Kyle Rote has not played as yet in this game. The man who won the Superstars in 73, 74, and 76. Picked off again by the Aztecs. Steve David, 6 foot, 160, and quicker than any 3 guys you've ever seen, but he loses the ball. Coming the other way now by the Dallas Tornado. Not the individual brilliance, but good team play by the Tornado, bringing it down the middle. Now it's back to the left. They'll try and get it in the penalty area. Into the middle again. One pass too many as one Aztec could cover 2 men, and a nice play made by Backus. Again, he tackles the ball and comes up with it, even though he was one of a trio. Okay, there's George Best, number 11. He's got the ball. Look out. He got it over here on the right side of Charlie Cook. Cook handles it. Fakes, still has it to the right. Shoots in the middle to David. Score!
Fantastic footwork by Charlie Cook. Set that goal up.
All right. Best comes over and says, all right, Charlie. Watch Charlie Cook. Okay. They're the high-priced talent from Best to Cook. Watch this. Stops it. Is he going to go? Is he not going to go? He's got the 20-year-old defender. And right to Steve David. He says, piece of cake, friends and neighbors. I make those in my sleep. And it's 3-2. The leading scorer in the North American Soccer League has just scored another one. His 11th goal of the season for Steve David. He just pulled the trigger. All the work done by Charlie Cook, 34 years old, from Scotland. Last year was what you might call your tough year. Broke his arm in England, came over here to Los Angeles. First practice was the Aztecs. Charlie Cook broke his arm again. This year he's super. Here come the Aztecs leading. Steve David again, number 7. Can he make the play? No, he's knocked down. Was that a penalty? In the penalty area? Yes, that's a penalty kick. Okay, it was inside the box where he was stripped. Let's watch the play again. Watch David get knocked down. The pass comes over. Oh, see the hand on the jersey, and he's tripped and knocked down. Glenn Meyernick, the rookie, did it. Now everybody has to get 10 yards away from the kicker. That's what that ellipse is for, to make sure they are 10 yards away. Here comes a penalty kick for the Aztecs. It'll be taken by Phil Beal. That's a surprise.
No, Phil has never missed a penalty kick in his entire 14-year career.
Okay, now let's explain that as you watch it again. The goaltender cannot move until the ball is kicked. The kicker can. Beal looks like he's going to go to his right. Watch the goalie move to his left. Watch the goalie. He's anticipating the ball will go to his left. He moves up, back to the right, and Beal is perfect for the career. Phil Beal scores. George Best scored on one of those Friday night against Chelsea. Phil Beal makes it 4-2 Aztecs, and they have come screaming from behind. They trailed 2-0 at one time. They've scored 5 times since, but one was disallowed. Now on the penalty kick, which you saw, they lead 4-2 with 20 minutes to play in the soccer game. They are really playing this game about as well as you can play it, Dick.
Yes, they are, Dan. That second goal, the 2 goals by the Aztecs by David and Beal, came within 26 seconds of each other.
That's not bad. Who said soccer's a low-scoring sport? Okay, the Aztecs now getting it back to their own goaltender, and Bobby Rigby is, he got the best seat in the house. He says it's nice and far from the action. That's exactly where I like it. So Phil Beal, a defender, scores on the penalty kick after Steve David was knocked down. There's Rigby. Bob Rigby, an American. This is his 5th year. in the North American Soccer League. He was purchased from the Cosmos of New York, whom you will see right here on the On Television Network on July 2nd with Pele, their great star. Rigby says, hey, get out of my way, guys. Here we go. He passes over to his right. He's not exactly using as quick as he can now with a 2-goal lead. The Aztecs are slowing it down to a walk. They're saying, come get it if you want it, Dallas. Dallas doesn't want it, apparently. I wouldn't wake Dallas up if I were Los Angeles right now. Would you, Dick?
No, I think that would be the wrong move at this time, Dan.
David's got a goal. Best has got a goal. Davies has a goal. Beal's got a goal. And you will see that positions in this game are sort of misleading. The forwards, Davis and Davies, have scored. A midfielder, Best, has scored. And a defender, Beal, has scored. But as Dick White told you, in the second half, the Aztec coach, Terry Fisher, has gotten his defenders up awfully close, overlapping the other players, and put a lot more offensive pressure on Dallas with that rookie goaltender, and it's paid off. They've scored 4 times.
And they've also now shifted strategies, and the Aztec players are dropping back. The forwards are not going up as much until the Aztecs have clear-cut possession of the ball and are coming out of their end.
I don't know. What would you think about that? The Aztecs are playing pressure defense. They're scoring a lot of goals. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to go conservative.
Well, they're not.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying you wonder sometimes if you might just hand the initiative to the other team.
They're not going to go conservative, Dan, as much as they're making sure that they have possession before they're cutting everybody loose.
18 minutes, 10 seconds to play. A 4-2 Aztec lead, and kicked out of the air. Holy cow, he says, what the hey? What's going on here? That's Jim Ryan. He felt he was fouled. Not the miler, but the soccer player. Jim Ryan is from Scotland, 5'9", 151 pounds. Bobby Rigby overhands the ball over to Ani Mihailovic. Mihailovic up the field. Only one substitution by either team in the game so far. There's Steve David. He's the guy you got to lock out for. Boy, can he run. 6 foot and 160 and not much fat. There's Beal, who just scored on the penalty kick. He's a defender. Can you imagine the offensive ability on a defender like that?
That's the second penalty kick that Beal has scored this year. He scored the first goal of the season for the Aztecs on a penalty kick to open the second half in San Jose in the opening game of the year and start LA off to a 3-0 victory.
Bacos has the ball, but he has it tackled away beautifully by Dallas. They get it out of trouble out to midfield again. The Aztecs approach the 35-yard line. Far over to the left, an in-swinger trying to get it to Best. They do. Backus has it. Knocked away from him. Dallas, well, they still don't have very many people moving, even though they're dribbling the ball up the field. There are a lot of spectators on the Dallas team, and Dick, I think they're getting tired.
I think you might be right, Dan.
They don't have that zip anymore. Now there's the only man who's come into the game. He takes the kick, and nice save by Bob Rigby, although I think it was wide, but Rigby's not taking any chances. And you'll notice the goaltenders in soccer, they don't make any mistakes. They bring the ball into the body on every single save, stand up with it, make sure they have complete control of it, look around the whole field, the whole 70-yard width. There's Terry Fisher, coach of the Aztecs. He's going to read a book now. He says, games in hand, forget it. I'm going to catch up on my latest Nancy Drew mystery, or whatever. Just kidding. Terry is over there checking the rules. Why was that goal disallowed? He still doesn't know. The Aztecs have the ball approaching the 35-yard line. They're just sort of fooling around with it right now. George Best thinking about where he's going tonight. Okay, passes it forward to Desi Backus. Backus gets it back. The man, he's incredible. I love to watch Backus. He works so hard. I don't think his skills came easy. I think he had to work very hard to develop them. That's the difference between a Backus and a Best. They both have the skills. I think Best more God-given skills than Backus had, though. Ani Mihailovic, and we can hear him clear up in the press box, hollering to him. They want the ball. The Aztecs is moving the ball, and now there was a push. There'll be a free kick awarded here.
Thompson is becoming frustrated with the way Ron Davies is blocking him away from the ball and keeping control. I think Ron's scoring effort and the other close opportunities he's had has taken their toll on the youngster.
Well, Thompson is a young man. He doesn't even normally guard Davies. Steve Petcher, the rookie of the year last year, the man that normally does, picked up 16 stitches in his forehead the other night when he caught a soccer boot across the front of his head, and so he is not playing. He didn't even make the trip with Dallas. So Ron Davies is being handled by a man who's 20 years old. Here's Ron Davies. He's got more points than any other active player in all of British soccer, being handled by a guy 20 years old. You know, it's got to be a mismatch in experience, if nothing else.
It's a very tough challenge for the youngster, and he's done a good job on Ron today, or else Ron could have had 2 or 3 goals.
The Dallas Tornado coming in those red uniforms, moving the ball, coming toward the middle for the high percentage shot. Now they cross Statue of Liberty, and a very weak kick sent in by Bob Hope. They're just not making anything happen out there. Nice, now a back kick, and Bakos is giving us an exhibition on how to handle the ball with a foot now. Now let's see what's called by the referee. Dressed in black. Excuse me, I didn't say that, friends and neighbors. That is a microphone down there that picks up everything that is said, puts it right into your living room. We don't censor the players. We're hoping they'd speak some foreign language if they're going to do that, but they didn't. 4-2. The Aztecs have scored 4 in a row after Dallas got the first 2. They lead this game with 13 minutes, 54 seconds left to go in regulation. I'm Dan Avey, along with Dick White, Director of Operations of the Los Angeles Aztecs. Dick's having a hard time wiping the smile off his face for 2 reasons. One, he's vastly overpaid. Number 2, the Aztecs are leading. The Tornado's best chance, but they blow it. And it's cleared out of the penalty area. And now, that was a bad play, and they know it. Just lifted up into the air by Neil Cohen. The Tornado is getting frustrated. The Tornado has never won a game here in Los Angeles, but on the other hand, the Aztecs have never won a game in Dallas either in their history.
I think a significant thing about today's game from the Aztec point of view, Dan, is that they fell 2 goals behind and yet had the fortitude and character of the club to bounce right back and get right into the game and have taken the lead now. Okay, there's David, and he's getting the ball over to Bobby McAlinden, putting it back in the middle. And David, with a 2-goal lead, didn't even attempt to put the ball in the net, and that surprised the Tornadoes. They thought he'd try and just lift it over everybody and in on the in-swinger, but he did not. There's another bad play. You cannot intercept the ball, and you can't tackle if you don't have your entire body weight behind your foot. If you stick your foot out, you're not going to do anything. Okay, Ani Mihailovic in the corner. He'll try and center it. Crossing pass intercepted by Dallas. Mihailovic has it again. Puts it in the middle for a header. But it goes over the head of Davies and is headed out of bounds instead by the Tornado. Now you'll see a throw in by Desi Backus. 2 feet on the ground, 2 hands over the head. Thank you, Desi. He does it correctly. The Aztecs control the ball. I didn't think he'd do it incorrectly. I was just showing you. Okay, the Aztecs still have the ball. That's George Best having a lot of fun over there. He says, "Ref, he kicked me. He kicked me." And he turns around, and Kevin Cooley said, "What do you mean? I didn't kick him. Are you kidding me?" "What the hey?" says Cooley, or something like that. Kevin Cooley, only 22 years old. He's from England. He saw George Best in England for the first time last year. He's had a good seat to see him today. Okay, here's George Best, a free kick now. That was a penalty. Best gets a free kick. They got to get 10 yards back, do the Tornado. They're going to play it short. They're going to play it cozy, going to play it cute. There comes George Best coming in all alone. What's he going to do? Out of bounds. Out of bounds. George Best says, mistake. The entire ball has got to be over the white line. If it touches the white line, it is still in bounds. That was a ticky-tack call, I think, by the linesman on that one. That's one of George Best's favorite moves, to come right along the goal line, kick a hook shot, I guess you'd call it, an in-swinger, he calls it, and put it over the goal line from an angle where you can't put it over the goal line. He does that, though. Did it just a week ago. A very important game for the Aztecs. Aztecs are looking now for the league lead, and they'd have it right now with the 3 goals and the win. Knocked over the end line by Phil Beal. So a corner kick for Dallas, and I believe the first and second one they've had this half. They try and put it on the goal line, knocked out of the air. Now the kick, score by Kevin Cooley. Mistake made by the Aztec goalie. He handled the ball but didn't clear it. He put it right on the foot of Kevin Cooley, and he pounded it home. Let's watch it again. Okay, see how quick things happen in this game? Kevin Cooley, 22 years old, from England, a midfielder. Remember, there are 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 forwards. The terms don't really mean much because, as you have seen here in the second half, the players have moved around quite a bit. You find defenders up in front, and you find forwards in back. Okay, 10 minutes, 48 seconds to play. It's now a 4-3 soccer game. This one's been a lot of fun, and you've seen a lot of skills exhibited. That corner kick is dangerous because you get a free chance just to put the ball right in the middle of the melting pot there in front of the net. Dallas did.
The ball bounced around a little. Rigby could not clear it cleanly. Cooley had really a fairly easy shot from about 11 yards out. Kyle Rote has now been substituted into the game. That's Kyle Rote Jr., the best-known American player in the North American Soccer League, and a man who has won $187,000 of Roone Arledge's money in the Superstars competition over 3 years. 79-12 is the time of the goal by Cooley. 79-12 into a 90-minute soccer game. Now the Aztecs. Bring it out, okay. Desi Backus has the ball, taken away by the Dallas Tornado. They tie this one up. We could get into overtime here and maybe a shootout. Who knows? Here comes Dallas. They got a little more spring in their step now with that goal. Basically capitalizing on a Los Angeles mistake. Cleared by Rigby, keeping the ball wide. Up the field, he is looking for Ron Davies, who kills it in his body, down to his foot. Nice pass over to Backus. Backus off the heel. He sends it over to Charlie Cook. Ane Mihailovic. He's being marked there by Kyle Rote Jr., number 12, the blonde hair and the red uniform. And 10 minutes to play, and Kyle Rote is substituted into the game. Rote is very good in the air. That is, he can head the ball very well. And, of course, you know he's got to be fresh. Everybody else has been playing an hour and 20 minutes of soccer already. Now at midfield, Desi Backus, indefatigable. Indefatigable, which is correct, Rick. We'll get out our dictionary here. Look at that. Incredible shot, and Bonnie Prince Charlie almost set up another one.
Desi Backus just can't seem to get that ball in the net.
Okay, watch. Charlie Cook keeps it in position over to Backus for the shot. And at this point, Backus is doubting that if he took the ball down to the end of the Santa Monica Pier, he's saying, I probably couldn't put 2 out of 3 in the ocean. But that's the way it goes. Thank God, he says, we're ahead. Corner kick by George Best, and end swinger headed by Ron Davies, still up in the air. Headed by Davies again. Down, and whoops.
Dangerous kick.
Yes, he just removed some of Kyle Rote's bridge work. Kyle Rote Jr., Kyle Rote Sr., of course, went to SMU. Got to be better ways of making a living than putting your chin in front of somebody's soccer boot. Soccer boot, by the way, in a future broadcast, we'll show you one. They've got 22 little tiny cleats on the bottom. They're not very deep. It's a different kind of traction than you need in football when you dig in and butt heads, or in baseball. Different kind of a shoe. Many players wear them to play football.
Dan, what the Aztecs did earlier in sending everybody up front and forcing the attack is what Dallas is doing now.
And Dallas just got tripped. Let's see if they'll get a free kick out of it.
At this point, they have to forget about defense. Other than getting back and covering up, they've got to make the gamble and try to go for this tying goal with only 7 minutes and 8 seconds remaining.
You're live at the Coliseum on the ON Television Network, the first ever presentation for you in your living room of a home game of the Los Angeles Aztecs. The Tornadoes bring it in. They're looking for Kyle Rote to head it in. They don't get the ball to him. The Aztecs coming the other way, and it's just booted down the field. Nice pass. Backus on the receiving end. He says, yeah, am I going to shoot it? Are you kidding? Over to Steve David. David's got room. Makes a move. Oh, he puts him right in Chicker's machine. Takes the shot and knocked out by the goaltender. It's saved there, but to Steve David. Now he's tackled by Kyle Rote Jr. Kyle Rote, the best-known American player in the game of soccer, but not necessarily or anywhere near the best player. Best American player, that is. Here come the Aztecs again. They clear the ball back to the goaltender. 6 minutes, 21 seconds to play. And Bobby Rigby, pride of Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, a man who broke his collarbone after 13 games last year when somebody put a forehead twixt his shoulder and his chest. Very healthy now, thank you very much. Now he gets the ball back again. Looks like he's playing handball with one of his defensive sides. He'll boot it. Goes to George Best. Best on the right side to Ane Mihailovic. Mihailovic brings the ball to center field, or center of the field. Better, Dan. Right now, Phil Beal has it. He brings it forward to Backus. You figure Backus is overweight. You look at him. He's not. He is not. He's like Ron. Very few ounces of body fat at all in his body. There's Steve David. David looking for a shot, looking for a pass. Now he's just going to dribble. Finally takes the shot. He put a hook on that one. It bounced it a little bit. That was almost had to be short hop by the goaltender. Aztecs still playing well. Bring it in. Nice tackle on the ground, diving tackle again, another diving tackle. The Aztecs really literally throwing themselves into it. Here comes the tornado. What can they do with it? They bring it wide. That's the percentage play. Make the pass, make the wide pass. They'll try and bring it back in. Kyle Rote waving his hand. He says, I'm free, I'm free. Get it to me. They don't. Hey, on the handheld cameras, on the stationary cameras, these guys know what they are doing. They are the best in the business, and that's why they're working for the On Television Network. And a big thanks from us to all the crew. Every picture we've needed, they have had. Okay, here's a free kick. George Best. Videotape Enterprises, the company doing the pickup for us. Claire Higgins' outfit, doing a very fine job, as always. Headed back toward the Aztec end of the field. I won't say there is no tomorrow, because there will be. Even if the Aztecs lose, the sun will come up tomorrow morning. Oh, now we got some angry people out on the field. I think they're going to book somebody. What do you think? Nope. I think they're not now. That's another great prediction, Dan. These guys were a little bit tired of each other. Watch this. Get some elbows hooked there. Almost looked like hockey there for a while. Charlie Cook.
Kevin Cooley.
And Kevin Cooley. Now, Charlie Cook is 34 years old. Kevin Cooley is 22 years old. Stop picking on the old man, Kevin. The tornado only down 1 goal, and anything can happen for 1 goal. There's Kyle Rote. Headed the ball in, but he wasn't deep enough to really make it effective. Desi Backus fakes the kick. Now he brings it out to Mihailovic. Mihailovic has it tackled away from him. The only substitute in the game for the tornado. Roy Turner centers it, knocked out of the way by the Aztec, and they cleared it out to George Best. Away goes George. He's in midfield. He's coming down the 35-yard line. He tries to get to Steve David, and it's intercepted. Gavin says, let's get this ball going the other way, my friends. So here they go. 2 minutes, 52 seconds to play. Dallas had the first 2. The Aztecs had the next 4. Dallas scored another one. It's a 4-3 soccer game in the Coliseum on a sunny day in Los Angeles. You're watching it live in your living room. Now across the 35-yard line into the penalty area. It's headed by Dallas. Back kick by Dallas toward the net and scooped up by Bob Rigby. Boom. Rigby goes head first into John O'Hare. O'Hare's fine. Rigby's not sure. He clears it out to the left. Is that legal, Dick?
Yes. He was actually trying to cover the ball on the play. It's the interpretation the referee let go on.
You are allowed to hit the goaltender with shoulder-to-shoulder contact, but not when he's in the air.
That's correct.
That's a cheap shot. He's in the air.
Bob is a very physical person. He was also in the Superstars and finished 3rd 2 years ago.
The Aztecs, if you're wondering, if you're a real soccer fan, and you wonder what style do they play the English style. That is fast and physical. And they've got the players that they can play that way. They've got Charlie Cook. They've got George Best. They've got Steve David. They've got Ron Davies. So they can play a pretty wide open game. When they went to it, they got 4 goals. Here come the Aztecs in again. They'll look for a centering pass for Davies. They try and get it in there. Nice fake. Oh, look at that. Right around it. Loses him off the goalpost. Woo! Helicopter spin.
And the important thing for the Aztecs right now is if they hold on to this lead and win the game 4-3, it will become a 9-point game for the Aztecs, and they will take over first place in the Southern Division with 71 points, 1 ahead of Las Vegas, and they have played 1 game less than Las Vegas.
Remember, fans, you get 6 points for a win plus a bonus point for every goal up to the number 3. So the Aztecs would get 9 points if they win this game, and Dallas would get 3 points because the losing team gets a bonus point for every goal they score, up to 3. The Tornado knows they've got 1 minute and 4 seconds. They're still out of midfield, marked very well by the Aztecs in this situation. Now it's down loose. Steve David coming back hard. He clears it back to his goaltender. Rigby says, I've got it. He'll now take his time, and he'll clear it either left or right. Your guess is as good as ours which way. He is really taking his time. 45 seconds to play. The referee's probably saying, better get going, Bob. He boots it, but he shanks it. He didn't send that as far as he wanted to. Now, Kyle Rote heads it back. Now they're going forward. And it's knocked out of bounds. thrown in by the Aztecs, and with 19 seconds to go, they could pretty well kill the rest of the clock. Here come the Aztecs upfield. Up to Des Bacos. 10 seconds left. Bacos just going to hang on to it. Tackle is missed. Bacos hangs on to it. Beautiful individual skill. Here comes the kick. Can he score? No! The game's over as the goaltender is decked. The game is over, I think.
Game is over.
Yep. Referee says it is over. The final score as we take a look at the Aztecs' victorious coach, Terry Fisher. The Aztecs 4 coming from behind, and the Tornado 3. And I guess the game isn't over. They're still playing. The Coliseum clock shows the game is over. They're still playing.
The official time is kept on the field by the referee, Dan.